Hello, people. Me again. Another beautiful day or night. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. What? And it's 11:35 at night. But you know, we keep grinding around here. All right. Look, got another article for you about this Microsoft deal. In the words of Phil Spencer, Sony and Nintendo is not our competitors. What's up, Tweaktown? Listen to this article. Listen to this article. It says here, Microsoft Activision deal closure may spark gaming acquisition spree. It says, Jeffrey Managing Director Andrew Urquhart comments on how the Microsoft Activision merger closure could spur companies to make more acquisitions. If Microsoft successfully takes Activision off the market in its $68.7 billion merger deal, then other big tech firms could be spurred to snap up studios and maybe even big publishers like Electronic Arts and Take-Two Interactive. Says here, the outcome of the FTC versus Microsoft case caused a stir in the interactive entertainment market, with both EA and Take-Two hitting 52 weeks high shortly after the FTC loss was announced. While the FTC is appealing the federal order in an attempt to stall the Microsoft Activision merger, the deal could still close as early as this weekend. If it does, then major tech companies could make acquisition in an attempt to secure to secure a slice of the $200 billion market. Sony and Nintendo is not our competitors. Phil Spencer. Anyway, it says here, in a recent interview with CNBC, Jeffrey Managing Director Andrew Urquhart shares his thoughts on how the merger completion could spark more consolidation as the pool of available talent continues to shrink. He says here, I think, like in the movie Ronin, so you would think, but you don't know for sure. Anyway, it says, I think that there is a belief that big tech, they have all wanted to do games. The Amazons, Disney, Netflix of the world all want to be in games. Now, if the deal gets through, now all of a sudden all of these other companies need to assess if they're serious about games. If they are, who do they acquire? Because they can't do it originally. I think the investors are around looking at who could be the next acquisition in the space, Urquhart says. It says, when asked if it seems unlikely that big tech firms like Amazon would acquire EA, Urquhart said that it could be more likely that these companies make smaller scale acquisition instead. Netflix, for example, acquired multiple indie game studios, including Night School, Next Games, and Boss Fight Entertainment. It says, I think maybe a year or 18 months ago, that was much more likely. Today, I don't think it's that likely. Amazon has some other problems. Disney has some other problems. Cost of capital is a lot more expensive. I think people might take the approach that Microsoft originally started on. If you go back to 2018-2020 period, they started out buying small acquisitions and slowly bulked up. We might see that, to see if some of these companies start testing the waters to see what's out there, and if these strategies ultimately worked. Remember Phil Spencer's comment? Sony and Nintendo is not our competitors. Says Urquhart was also asked if the rise in EA and Take-Two stock was warranted, with the CNBC anchor implying the stock price was raised as a result of the FTC versus Microsoft case outcome. If we're wrong, maybe Amazon is serious. Maybe Comcast would be serious about adding video game content. Warner Brothers Discovery talked a lot about the success of Hogwarts Legacy and the ability to move IP across video games and television. And you think about who has the best IPs out there. There's none better than EA and Take-Two. Well, not unless the video game community got something to say about it. Anyway, it says here, There were past reports that Comcast was interested in spinning off its NBC Universal division and merging with Electronic Arts to form a powerhouse entertainment company. In August of 2022, further reports indicate that Amazon was interested in buying Electronic Arts, but the reports remain speculative. Another plot twist also saw Activision buying Time Warner and using valuable Warner Brothers DC intellectual properties like Batman, Superman to fuel new video game projects. And that's the end of the article. Good article, Twigtown, again. Yeah. In the words of Phil Spencer, Sony and Nintendo is not our competitors. So it means when they got Game Pass off the ground, they looked down the road and saw who the competitors were. So yeah, Microsoft was ahead of the game. And now you got some companies out there with big pockets now looking to get into the video game market. So when Phil Spencer told Sony, when Phil Spencer said Sony and Nintendo is not our competitors, that was a wake-up call for Sony and Nintendo to change their ways and take video games serious. Yeah. So yeah, the video game industry is very competitive, you know. Speaking of let's see here. Where's it at? Let's see here. Let's see. Where is it? Amazon? No, Microsoft. It talks about Warner Brothers. Look, Warner, AT&T was trying to sell they were trying to sell WB Games and WB Games, Rocksteady, and NetherRealm Studios for $5 billion. Okay, AT&T was they were cleaning up, but that deal was on the table for $5 billion, and they got snatched up by Discovery. So yeah, this video game industry is competitive. Sony could have jumped at that, but they passed on it, you know. So hey, missed opportunity. You know, even Nintendo could have jumped at that, but I guess they didn't take it serious, you know. So yeah, when Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, oh yeah, the landscape changed. Oh yeah, remember they just bought before that they bought Mahjong, then they bought who was that? ZeniMax Bethesda. Yeah, Mahjong for $2 billion, and ZeniMax Bethesda for 7.5. Yeah, Microsoft was taking video games seriously, so they just dropped a $68.77 billion on Activision Blizzard. Oh yeah, that's a wake-up call. The industry is changing, so yeah, there's some companies out there with big pockets, you know. Yeah, I mean, Comcast with EA. That would have been an interesting acquisition. Yeah. Take-Two and EA stock went up. Oh yeah. There's the what? It's a $200 billion video game market. $200 billion. You know. And, Microsoft is here to play. You know, so Sony and Nintendo need to take this serious. Oh yeah. EA and Take-Two, yeah. You know, Comcast, they have money. Amazon has money, but this article even goes on to say Disney has some problems. Amazon have some problems. Yeah. Then it says cost of capital is a lot more expensive. Well, yeah, you got to have some money in this industry, man. And he says, I think people might take the approach that Microsoft originally started on if you go back to 2018. Well, Sony already started that already. You know, Sony bought Bungie, you know. Oh yeah. They followed suit, so yeah, they're starting to take this industry serious. You know? Well, they should have before though. But this 68.7 billion deal is a wake up call. It's a wake up call, you know, to everyone in the game industry. You know, don't take the video game industry for granted. You know, yeah. Remember, Activision Blizzard was having internal issues. I guess Sony and Nintendo didn't take it serious. Not Microsoft though. They were hungry. Oh, they got internal issues. Okay, we'll take care of it. Snatched them. Yeah. Yeah, this market is competitive. They have some big players out there, man, and yeah. This Activision Blizzard deal is sending shockwave across the industry right now. Yeah. So companies are looking to get into the video game industry, but they got to compete with Microsoft now. Microsoft got Game Pass off the ground before everybody else. Before everybody else did. So yeah. Yeah. This market is competitive. Says the deal could close as early as this week. If it does, then major tech companies could take acquisition in an attempt to secure a slice of the $200 billion market. Yeah. This industry is very, very competitive. Amazon, Disney, Netflix. Amazon is doing video games. They just about a couple months ago, or a month or two ago, they just got the rights to the Tomb Raider license. Oh yeah, for about I think $600 or $300 million, somewhere around there. Yeah. There's Disney, of course. There's Netflix. Netflix trying to get into the gaming market. Oh yeah. But now Netflix got to compete with Game Pass. Oh yeah. This market is very competitive, man. And it's shrinking too. Yeah. You know. So you gotta have some you gotta have a user base. You gotta have some clout. Oh yeah. You gotta have some games, you know. Oh yeah. Console with some games to compete in this market. It's very competitive. Oh yeah. The landscape has changed. Yep. And it says Netflix, for example, acquired multiple indie game studios, including Night School, Next Games, and Boss Fight Entertainment. If you can't beat Microsoft, join them. You know? Yeah. Said I think maybe a year or 18 months ago that was much more likely. Today I don't think it is likely. Amazon has some problems. Disney has some problems. Cost capital is a lot more expensive. I think people might take the approach that Microsoft originally started on. If you go back to 2018 period, they started out by buying small acquisitions, slowly bulked up. We might see that. So to see if some of these companies start testing the waters, what's out there, and if these strategies ultimately works. Yeah. Well, it took Microsoft 3 years, you know, to get ZeniMax Bethesda. 3 years. And they, you know, paid off, you know. Yeah. They got Game Pass off the ground. Phil Spencer came out. Sony and Nintendo is not our competitors. When they purchased Activision Blizzard, it's not what they can do for us. It's how can we help you. They didn't buy Activision Blizzard thinking it's what they can do for us. They're like, Activision, we're Microsoft. How can we help you? Oh yeah. So yeah, this market is competitive, man. Very competitive. Yeah. Amazon got the Luna. They're serious. Now Comcast is a different animal. They got capital, they got clout, but now they they I mean, if they get EA and Take-Two, yeah, they have some money to spend, you know. Comcast, oh yeah. This market is competitive. Yeah, Warner Brothers, you know, Discovery took that up. Oh yeah, oh yeah. When AT&T had Warner Brothers and Rocksteady and NetherRealm on the table, Discovery came to the rescue for that. Oh yeah, they renegotiated the deal and the deal is done. So yeah, this market is competitive, and you have to maintain your competitive edge in this market. If you want to survive, that means you got to stay on top of things, you know. Yeah. And when you see an opportunity, seize it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Or Dark Side. Go. Peace.